to Crosscut. I'm your co-host Josh.
And I'm your other co-host, Chris.
Oh, Chris, are you my daddy? All right. Welcome to Crosscut. I'm your co-host Josh.
And I'm your other co-host, Chris.
So, with that clever little introduction, that's right. We're watching a movie about talking babies, or specifically
Oh,
one talking baby, which is voiced by Bruce Willis. That's right. We're
of all
watching the
people.
1980, yeah, of all people, right? Just to think that Die Hard came out a year before. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, and coming from a baby's voice.
Goo Goo
That's
Gaga.
right. We're talking about the 1989 comedic classic, although I've never seen it before, so is it a classic? I don't know. Look Who's Talking, not to be confused with Look Who's Talking Now, which is the movie I almost started watching before.
That's the sequel.
Yeah, I was trying to find this movie because it's hard. This movie was hard to find, actually. I couldn't
I,
really find it anywhere.
I found it on.
I mean, it's on Amazon and all that stuff, but I found Look Who's Talking Now on YouTube, and I was like, oh, is this it? And then I'm watching the beginning of the movie, and I'm like, Kirstie Alley and John Travolta are together. The kids are grown up. I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's the right movie. And then I was like, oh, that's the sequel. I was like, okay. But for some reason, I thought the sequel was called Look Who's Talking 2, like TOO, but no, it's Look Who's Talking
Oh,
Now. So anybody watching, don't get confused. Look Who's Talking is the original. Then
original
you
one.
watch Look Who's Talking Now. So that's what we're talking about is Look Who's Talking.
Yeah, I mean, I heard about it. Uh, Julie actually mentioned it to me. Like, have you ever seen Look Who's Talking? And I'm like, no. What's that about? I've never heard of it at all. And then she was telling me like, yeah, it's got John Travolta, Christy Alley, Bruce Willis. I'm like, okay, interesting cast. But she wouldn't tell me anymore until we started watching it. And then all I hear is Bruce Willis's voice.
Help! 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 Oh no! Put me back in! Put me back in, please, buddy. Let go of my head and put me back inside.
Narrating a tadpole pretty much. And I'm like, okay, this is a little creepy because you're seeing like the stages of a baby grow up inside of a stomach. I'm like, okay.
The intro to this movie's interesting. It's a little weird, honestly.
It
Like they're
is.
seeing like the visual effects of how a baby's made. I'm just like,
I did not expect that at all. I was like, okay, when it was mentioned, I was like, okay, it was narrating a baby. I'm like, all right, sure. I'm thinking it's just a voice coming out of the belly or something like that. I wasn't expecting the visuals of like the baby grow forming.
yeah.
It was really creepy.
I bet somebody's like re-edited this like trailer or whatever trailer this movie was as like a horror movie. I feel like
Um,
that's somewhere out there in the
I
internet.
can see it. I can see
Um,
some.
I'd heard of this movie. I've known about this movie for a long time. I think I
Mhm.
told you like I think it's a movie my mom watched all the time. She loves John Travolta, Kirstie Alley. She loves her comedies. Watching it, I'm kind of surprised. Like maybe she hasn't watched it in a while, but this movie's well, it's not a kids movie, but it's
No.
like pretty. I had to actually like look at one point. I was like, is this movie rated R? Because I'm pretty sure they like dropped the F bomb like twice in a row at one point. I
Uh,
think like it's in the towards the beginning when John Travolta first goes to the hospital. I think he
right.
like drops an F bomb when he's like parked on the side, and then there's a little scene with
Yeah.
Kirstie Alley in the bed where she like does the Exorcist voice, and I'm pretty sure she also drops an F bomb.
I
I'll have
wasn't
to
paying
go back and
attention.
look.
They did.
I thought I heard that, and I'm like, first I was like, wait, is this movie rated PG? Like, no way. And then I'm like, wait, is this movie rated R? And then I realized, okay, it's PG-13, which back in the day,
Okay. It
PG-13, you
makes
could definitely
sense.
stretch it out more than you can now.
Yeah. Well, I when she's going into labor and she first meets John Travolta though, I didn't expect him to be the taxi cab driver,
Yeah.
because I was asking questions right before the movie started. Like, so what's John Travolta? Is he the dad? Watch is what? Is he the babysitter or something? Like, watch. I'm like, okay, fine. then I see him driving like a maniac just to get her to the hospital. I was cracking up the entire time.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to show up. He doesn't show up probably until like maybe like 20 minutes into the movie, and then I'm like,
Mm,
"Oh, there he is." I was like, "All right,
yeah,
he's like the fun taxi driver,
yeah.
quirky guy. Like, okay, that's cool. I'll go with that. Like, nice. That's like it's
Oh,
like prime John Travolta too.
it is. And I see he still has like that Grease look from Grease,
Yeah.
And I love the little nod for Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, Staying Alive.
Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man. No time to talk.
Or
Yeah,
no,
so
yeah,
he's just walking
Staying
down
Alive.
the
Yeah,
yeah, he's walking down the the
yeah,
sidewalk with the song. Like, I see what you did there.
yeah. uh, so I just wanted to say, so this movie opens with this scene between Kirstie Alley and the actual biological father character,
Right.
who's this like older guy.
Yeah.
This scene was so weird to me because when this scene was playing out, I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's real. Like I was waiting for there to be like a meta moment where somebody goes cut, and it turns out like she's like an actress, and they were just like rehearsing a scene kind of thing. But then it turns out like, oh, this is them actually like hooking up, and I'm like, that was kind of a weird scene. Like it just felt
Yes.
so like odd to me. But
It was very
uh
cringe.
yeah, I'm just like,
It
wait a
really
minute, like,
was.
is this actually happening? Like I'm waiting for like, the curtain to get pulled and the Wizard of Oz to come around and say something, or I don't
I
know. It
kept
was just
thinking it was like a dream or something that's just
yeah, that's
happening.
what I was thinking. I was like, there's
Mhm.
no way this is I don't know, it was just so like
It's so
odd to me.
weird.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh no, they just yeah, that's like actual part of the movie. I was like, oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
burst
And
if I don't kiss you right now.
yeah, I'm like this is the thing
Oh,
you see like when this is the thing you see in movies when they're making fun of movies.
yeah.
And I was like, really? This is an
No, that's
actual
part of it.
but anyways, I thought the first 15 minutes of this movie were kind of eh. It's not until John Travolta and Bruce Willis come aboard where I'm like, okay, now I'm having fun. John Travolta's a lot of fun. Bruce Willis is you I just pictured him in a ADR booth like in one day just cracking his one-liners the whole
Oh,
time.
probably. Probably. But I like how subtle he is and how calm he's talking as the baby. Like, okay, I can dig it. Like, yeah, James, I think I want you to be the dad, my daddy. I'll talk to mom about it later.
He really wanted James to be the dad. John Travolta, Papa.
Papa. Nah,
Uh
perfect. Oh, the grandfather.
yeah. I don't know if you realize because I know we did Good Burger 2 like a month ago. That
He was
actor was in
in
the original Good
the
Burger. He
original
played
one.
Otis. So yeah. He
Yeah,
actually for some reason that this movie's like he is younger in this movie, but he looks
the
older
same.
than his good. No, he looked older in this movie than he did in his Good Burger character, and he's 8 years older in Good Burger.
That's true.
Think you can get me to a hospital? I think I broke my ass.
I'm like, damn, he looks old in this, and like he's in Good Burger, and that was later, but he looked younger. Out, whatever.
It
I
was
guess
the
because
Iron
yeah,
Man
he's playing
stuff.
a grandpa in this, so maybe that's what, you know,
Yeah. But
made
I
him look
like,
old.
I mean, it was kind of sad seeing like it's kind of the dementia part of it, but he still had a funny character. Yeah.
This movie's really funny. I was actually like
It
laughing out
is.
loud a lot throughout the movie. Uh, so the movie, I'll give it that. It's really funny. Uh, Bruce Willis when he's like I think he calls I think he calls the accountant that she goes out with a dick because he keeps trying to flip back and forth between the
Oh,
football and the teddy bear commercial or whatever it is.
that's
He,
right.
he calls him a dick. So I was like laughing at like stuff like that. And it's pretty funny in
Oh,
general. I think
uh,
John Travolta takes him to the airport and he's looking at the woman's boobies and he's like, "Oh,
oh
they're all
yeah.
different shapes and I like these. These are big."
Like, oh, I see what you're looking at. Yeah, lunch. Oh, even when Christy Alley goes on the date with the other accountant, and like, hey Mikey, do this.
Oh yeah.
gives him the tips.
Hmm.
I
Right.
was like, damn.
This
Yeah.
movie is I mean, it came out in 89. I mean, some
Mhm.
of the dialogue is pretty like
Yeah.
Bruce Willis, man, he has like one line which I was just like, did he really just say that? And especially if it's supposed to be a baby saying that. He drops a I think you know what I'm talking about, the R word.
He did?
Yeah.
When?
It was like later on in the movie, like almost maybe like 20, 30 minutes left. I forget the exact phrase, but he says it, and I'm just like, what the hell? Like, what?
No.
It's just
Yeah.
it was very odd. Some of the dialogue in the
The
movie is just,
dialogue is just all over the place. It
yeah.
really is.
This
It's got
movie's kind of all over the place too. Like, did you notice the editing? Like, scenes would just kind of like end, and then just like abruptly a new scene would just start.
I did
That,
notice that, especially when it's from like The Office to like uh something else. It
yeah,
was usually that, like it always cuts The Office and just goes, okay,
right.
we're in the apartment now.
Like, it's almost like they just kind of like cut a little bit out at the end, and
Mhm.
it was very abrupt at times. The editing seemed a little abrupt, but ultimately, it's still really funny. It
It
was
is. I kept
a
laughing the entire
yeah.
time.
Again, it's John Travolta, Bruce Willis. I think they'll make you laugh the most. They're probably the best characters.
The
Kirstie
chemistry
Alley's pretty
worked.
good. The chemistry works, yeah. Kirstie
Mhm.
Alley's she's pretty good. I'm not that familiar with her from a ton of stuff. I know she was popular from Cheers. The thing I remember her the most from is this like movie from like the 90s where she plays like the Tooth Fairy. I remember that. Yeah. She basically like her character dies and then she like comes back, but she's like the Tooth Fairy. Let me from like
Well,
yeah.
I know the scenes with her in this movie I laughed the most were the when she's imagining how those dates would become like a their her the father of the baby, and each one gets worse and worse and worse.
Oh yeah, because it's also like the stereotypical New Yorker, like, just you had like the neurotic one, the neurotic Jewish kind of person, and then you had like this tough guy New Yorker. The movie was called Toothless, so
Who-
another classic. Yeah, she plays the
Okay.
Tooth Fairy, so that's the thing I remember her the most from actually was that.
See,
And
I remember her, but I can't picture in any movies, and I never saw Cheers. So
yeah, she sadly she passed away last year actually.
right,
Um,
I
I
remember
think she
seeing
was
that.
also like pretty popular from like I think she did like a bunch of like commercials like recently. Like that's what she was
Okay.
like. And I'm trying to remember what the commercials were. I think it was like, yeah, it was like weight loss commercials because she had like a whole thing with like weight loss.
Oh man, I might have seen them across like ads for Hulu or something like that.
Yeah.
But I definitely remember her face. It's just I cannot picture any movie right now. I
Yeah.
really can.
But she's funny. I mean, she was really good too. What are my notes here? Yeah, it's not a kid movie. Definitely not a kid movie. It's a good
No.
adult movie, like especially if
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can sort of relate to it, having a niece that's 1 year old and them running around the house and all that stuff. So that is where this actually comes from. This is my niece's. It's not mine,
Had
I
a
promise.
feeling.
Yeah.
I had a feeling
So
Cocomelon was hers.
yeah, but it's not the same, obviously. Like, waking up at 3 in the morning, changing diapers, getting 2 hours of sleep all night, and that's yeah, relate to that part of watching a 1 year old.
Well, I was gonna say that when I was in a senior high, and they did this like parenting program
Mm.
where they brought in robot babies, right?
That's much more advanced than the eggs that you used to watch.
Yeah, all the eggs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's what it was. Now apparently it's robot babies that probably come alive at night and try to like rip your
Well,
face off.
it's not Chucky. Uh, no, but I mean it. I had I participated in it, and the first thing was you have to go up, go to the room where they all are. They literally come out of a box, and like, oh, it's a girl or a boy. All right, and I named her Jessica because I was thinking of Roger Rabbit at the time.
Hmm.
It was Mechanical Baby, where it's all like programmed inside, where there's um, motion sensors and stuff like that all around the baby. Everything is so intricate in that baby because you have to rock it, hold it. Me and the rest of my classmates, we all participated. Some of my classmates did not do well at all.
Did they kill the baby?
Several of them did.
That's
And
terrible.
I mean, my friend Bernardo, he could not handle it. He would drop the baby on purpose to keep it quiet. He got so frustrated. And one of my other friends, he couldn't handle it because his baby started crying at night.
Mm.
And he couldn't handle it. He stuffed it in a suitcase and put it on his bed.
And let me guess, they're all fathers of 6 kids now.
No,
They're
they're
in jail.
just single, and Alex just got engaged like 3 days ago.
Well, it's time to get the robot baby out again and start practicing.
But I didn't kill the baby.
And the baby
So,
went on to become Bruce Willis.
yes.
Good. Good, good.
It really is a good movie to laugh at, you know? It dialogues here and there. It's just fun. I think if kids will watch it, all the jokes will go right over their head.
Most likely, yeah. It's it's
Oh,
it's a movie made for young adults,
yeah.
probably starting families. Like they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's so relatable. That's so funny," stuff like that. It's made for that
Exactly.
demographic. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, for example, on Christmas Day, we were all watching Clue. All the adult jokes went right over their heads. I was the only one laughing. I felt so awkward. Like, oh, you don't get it. It's the same thing.
I'm just
Now I
reading
kind
some
of
of
want to
the
watch the sequel.
yeah. Uh Maybe we'll see. I'm reading some of the trivia. I guess the director was saying like Bruce Willis was allowed to improvise a lot of X-rated voiceover takes. Um,
Oh no,
it'd be interesting to see
what those were.
what that's all about. I guess Kirstie Alley fell in love with John Travolta during the filming, but she stayed faithful to her husband. That was kind of a funny part, is the guy that she has, that's the biological father, and he's just, hooking up with like every girl left and right, and he's just like
Oh
come up with
yeah.
every excuse in the book. It's just like, oh my goodness.
I thought his biggest thing was like, I have needs kind of
Uh-huh.
thing.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And he still goes with the same line, I'm gonna burst if I don't kiss you. Uh, oy,
Okay,
that was
here's something
so
interesting for Nickelodeon fans. I guess the film had heavy influence on the animation studio that created Rugrats. So
huh,
this movie may have had inspiration for Rugrats.
interesting.
The fetuses were puppets. 12 puppeteers hanging upside down were required to shoot the scene where Mikey plays with the placenta. Sperm
Oh
made a
my God.
butt.
Oh, that just reminds me of when he's like figuring out his body parts, and when they tell Christiane that it's a boy, like, oh, got another arm.
Yeah,
What's this
I
so
can't put it.
for?
I can't put it in my mouth.
How am I gonna put it in my mouth? Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the start of just like, oh, there's gonna be some dirtiness to this movie.
Yep.
But honestly, it was fun. The movie it's really funny. Turn your brain off. Don't go in expecting like it's cute too. It is cute. Like John Travolta, Kirstie Alley. It's like it's got cute moments. It's funny. You're gonna make a this face at times because you're just like, oh, like I'm not that kind of person when I watch older movies. I'm just like, oh, but for some reason this one I was just like, ooh, some of these jokes are just,
They're
ooh,
bad.
they're
They're
not
bad.
they're outdated.
For sure.
There was a moment where I was watching one scene, I think Bruce Willis is talking, and like clearly it's just, ADR over this baby, you know. And I was
Yeah.
like having this existential crisis of just like, if I was the director, man, would I just be like watching this, having this like moment, this thought of like, ooh, is this bad? Just like hearing like this guy's voice, and it just doesn't sound like it just at times it kind of sounded like cheap as far as like his voice, and I mean being like over the baby, but that's the joke of the movie. Do you think this movie would have worked if it was just not about talking babies and it was just about John Travolta, Kirstie Alley, and their whole relationship? I thought the movie would have worked fine just as that.
I mean, yeah. If you're seeing like the baby get into trouble kind of thing,
Yeah, yeah,
that I mean that's other movies though too.
like Baby's Day Out. I don't know why I
Directed
was.
Babysitting or 3 Men and
Yeah,
a Baby.
what's funny is all those movies came out around this time too. So I wonder if there was like
All
a
in the
big,
80s, 90s.
yeah. So I wonder if there was just like a big,
Everyone had a baby
wave
fever.
of baby movies coming out. But anyways, that was just my thought. Movie's a lot of fun. It is funny. It's cool to see Bruce Willis and John Travolta star in a movie before Pulp Fiction,
Yeah.
and you can't do better than Look Who's Talking. So in the John Travolta Bruce Willis scale of movies they've done together, Look Who's Talking, Pulp Fiction. That's my take. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. Chris, what else you got?
Watch it if you're expecting. You might pick up a few things or not. Who knows? Go watch
Uh,
it. Print. Moving on.
Give me your boobies, Chris. I want milk.